Hey there, Jamey Singleton here in the guts of Cable 12 at the control room. Kevin Tosh behind the iPad there. Hi, Kevin. We are talking about a lot of meteorological fun basically coming up this weekend. What could be dangerous if it pans out, but I want to give you kind of a perspective of what we're looking at here. Basically, Tropical Depression 18 has formed just south of Cuba. Looks pretty good. Probably going to become Tropical Storm Sandy or Hurricane Sandy over the next day or two. And we also have some really cold air that'll be heading in to the east in Ohio Valley by this weekend. The question is, do the two meet up? Do they meet up and interact with each other? Normally when a tropical system encounters a strong jet stream, such as cold air coming down from the north, it shears it apart and knocks it out to sea. And some models show that, and I'll show it to you in just a second. But in rare cases, these tropical systems will use what they can from these strong fronts, further strengthening them and merging them with the cold system, which could be very, very interesting. So, all right, Tosh, let's go on in here. I've got my Samua whips up. You can see how we started out chilly this morning. A lot of you probably did have some frost there. I can, see on your screen there. Temperatures warming up nicely. We're looking at a warm week, actually. Chilly nights, but some nice daytime highs. Visible satellite picture. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Watching that stuff off to the west of us in Kentucky and Tennessee. And you can see some upper level winds here at the very bottom left of your screen. This, by the way, barely captures our tropical system, but you can see quite a bit of dry air around Tropical Depression 18. Now, I've got the GFS forecast. This is the best case scenario, okay? And what it is showing me is the upper level winds. So this is the cold air coming down later in the week. Notice that dip in the jet stream. These are higher winds, and right there, that jet streak, how much does that make this trough dig? If it digs a little bit more, this tropical system here, which will likely be Sandy, could get pulled into this. But this particular model has it knocking it out to sea, which would be very typical. And I would also tell you that this model has done a very good job, or a fairly decent job, compared to the one that's given us the doomsday scenario over here on the other computer. So there you go, there's that model. That would maybe bring, it would still bring some snow showers to the northeast as that front moves through. Maybe some squally conditions right along the coast, maybe a little bit high surf as well. But that would be your better case scenario. And a lot of the models are forecasting that. In fact, weatherbell.com, go there, subscribe. That's a great site. This is a spaghetti plot showing all the different models. That this is as of 12Z today, showing the Sandy getting bent off to the east. That would eliminate the possibility, or nearly eliminate the possibility of this getting merged with our cold front here. That would be over the continental 48 and the east coast there. So looking at that doesn't look very good either. But you have a couple of models that grabbed our attention overnight last night. This is the Canadian model, all right? And our friends up there in Canada have their own model. This is looking at now. And as we advance it, watch, this is your cold air. By the way, these are 4 panels. So there's panel 1. This is all the same thing. That's the surface. This is going to be your temperature and your precipitation, and this is your moisture. Okay, as we advance it, look at the dip in the jet stream right here. Here's your tropical system. And watch what happens through time. The tropical system gets pulled to the north. There it is on the surface. There it is on the upper levels. Your jet stream dips so far to the south that right there it picks up the tropical system. And go ahead and get in there tight, Kevin, top left. Picks it up, and I'm going to go toggle this a little bit here. Absorbs the tropical system and moves it inland. That's as far out as that model goes. We'll get another one here in a few hours, but that would be one heck of a storm. Hurricane force conditions along the coast. You're talking about storm surge, waves, wind, and then interior sections of West Virginia, from Elkins to Snowshoe, up through the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, interior northeast, getting some heavy wet snow. Now, that's kind of an outlier, actually. The European model, though, still agrees. This is the hurricane model. Notice this is our hurricane, or tropical system. watching that very close. And then finally, I'll show you what everybody, all the meteorologists, if you've heard or seen things this morning, they've been looking at this. This is the European worst case scenario. You can see this is precipitation. There is Sandy, and look at that, getting pulled right into the Chesapeake Bay. By the time it gets into the cold air, that would be snow, but you'd have hurricane force winds up and down the coast. Now, I will say this. This model has been kind of a freaky model so far this hurricane season. So we have to give ourselves the fact of this is like 5 or 6 days out. A lot can change, and this particular model has been a little flaky, basically. It's normally a pretty good model, but when it comes to the tropics, it's been a little bit flaky. So what we're telling you now is there are different scenarios. Keep it here. We'll let you know as the more models come in, it will appear more likely as what scenario is going to happen, and maybe an in-between scenario. But there is at least the start of a potential big event coming up for the weekend. Which way it moves, whether or not they merge, that's still up in the air. So don't buy into all the hype just yet, because there's a lot that can change and a lot that can go wrong. Personally, I'm leaning toward it getting deflected out to sea. I would be excited to see something like this happen, but a lot of times we let our excitement get in the way of truth. And the truth of the matter is it hasn't even developed yet. It's just now starting to get going, and we've got a week to watch it. So that's the latest. If the models continue to change, I will let you know right here on Facebook. But I'm meteorologist Jamey Singleton. That's the very latest, and thanks for tuning in.